Thank you. I'm Dennis Edell, and I represent the team, a lot of whom are here today from Partners in Edell. And it is really an honor to have this opportunity to introduce to you our very distinguished keynote speaker. And we're really excited about him being here. I'm on the organizing committee, and there's always somebody who kind of wants to talk about this session as the government session or public sector advertising. But as we know, that's not correct. The title, Leading Social Change, just recognizes the fact that we, as marketers and communicators, create social change, and social change for the public good. And so whether we call it advertising, communications, or marketing, we are all agents of change. So let's do some market research. Here's the survey question. Will humans ever stop fighting wars once and for all? Today we're in a period of relative peace, but are we? People are fighting in Afghanistan and Iraq and in other hot spots. Is it in our nature to be perpetually at war? Think about it. Just in a few minutes I'm going to come back and ask you that question again. This phrase was coined in the 70s by Stuart Brand, the environmental guru and the publisher of the Energy Self-Sufficiency Bible, Whole Earth Catalog, and Coevolution Quarterly. Back then, we believed that by being careful stewards of the planet, the Earth could be restored to what was felt to be its natural balance. Those were innocent times. That's me. Got a nice suit on now. I met Stuart Brand in about 1975 on Prince Edward Island on the day of the opening of the Ark at Spry Point. I was curious at that time about what all the fuss was about. And if you remember at the time, PEI was seen as a showcase of energy self-sufficiency, and the Ark with its solar panels and its tilapia tanks was created as a living laboratory for research into alternative sources of energy. And there in the muddy lane on the water's edge in a point of land, a bunch of hippies and a bunch of ministers and dignitaries stood by while we watched Trudeau come swooping in his helicopter. And then, as if to kind of remind us that small is beautiful, we noticed one man and one sailboat coming into the point of land, and that was when I met Stuart Brand. So indeed, those were different times. Today, it's not about one family living on an organic farm in PEI. Today, we are all involved in the environment. We must all be change agents. Our species has changed the face of the world. Civilization has made the greatest impact on the Earth's surface. Since we began farming, we've been destroying forests and irreversibly changing our climate. But today we're affecting the planet in more ways than ever before. Our energy-hungry, consumer-driven civilization has altered our climate on a scale never imagined. In recent years, we've moved from talking about the possibility of climate change to watching it unfold before our eyes. World leaders have been talking about tackling climate change for about 20 years now, and yet carbon emissions keep going up. While we may not agree on the numbers or how we got to climate change, we do know that something is happening out there. Floods are more severe, forest fires are happening everywhere, and they're big. In Europe, warmer temperatures are moving north at 40 kilometers a decade. Plants and animals are moving north at more than 6 kilometers a decade. Olive trees now grow in London. Vast swarms of jellyfish are drifting north, killing fish farms in northern waters. Some argue that global warming is just part of a natural cycle. But glaciers are in retreat but have not retreated since the Ice Age, 12,000 years ago. The impact of climate change predicted just 10 years ago is uncannily coming to pass. In Australia, it hadn't rained as little as it did last summer since 1900. Many of the country's regions are embarking on their 5th year of drought. In the city of Perth, for instance, drinkable water is now sailing. The air pollution in Beijing is 5 times the standard set by the World Health Organization. The source of the problem are 3 million automobiles and the dozens of industries within the urban perimeter. But who's to tell the Chinese that they can't own a car?